Hey sellers, you missed the peak of the market. You know what they say about difficult conversations? If it's difficult to have, it's probably a conversation worth having. And you know our slogan here at Utah Cribs, we educate you so you can make an educated decision when it comes to your real estate. So I've got to give you a little bit of information. Don't worry, the sky isn't falling, but there's a few things you should understand about our market. I'm filming this on July 23rd, 2021. So the data I'm going to share is that current. And perhaps the first thing you have to see is my explanation or reasoning behind why I said what I said at the beginning here. And it really comes down to these three reasons. Let me share my screen with you. National macro data, which we will explore in a minute, that does affect us, but not necessarily is all encompassing of what's going on in Utah, or especially Salt Lake City. There's a lot of micro reasons we're going to fare better than most other markets when the market softens, and that's happening now. 2, local inventory and growth, and just 3, you know me, if you've paid attention to our videos, I like to give data and statistics and do that interpretation, but there's also another side of this equation that a lot of times data and stats can't prove, and that's kind of just the precursor to what data is going to prove, and that's the feeling of the market, the energy of the market, and what I'm going to call the glass ceiling. I'll be brief and dive into these really quick for you. Many of you probably saw this syndicated article that was produced yesterday on July 22nd through KSL, but it's a national market that goes over the reasons that the market is factually slowing across the United States. One is just US existing home sales and the tracking of inventory. Inventory's growing, okay? And sales have decreased just a tiny bit over the last 2 to 3 weeks. This is the very front of this versus where they've been for our market since COVID started, really March of 2020. But most importantly, the last 90 days, it's been insanely hot and everyone still thinks it's hot. So this is the latest information. The home builder sentiment, okay? My brother, many of you know him, Breen Homes, Adam Breen, president of the Salt Lake Home Builders Association last year, has ran the Salt Lake Parade of Homes for a couple of years. He's very plugged in. And the sentiment, the feeling, the energies of the market, and backed by this data, is that's cooled off just a tidbit, a few less building permits being pulled. Why? Well, we could speculate on that. Price of materials, cost of labor, we've all heard it. It's difficult to get things done, but it's also buyers drawing a line in the sand saying, I'm no longer paying this price. That flows into the next graph and reasoning, which is US home prices versus prospective buyers. Again, sky is not falling, but we are seeing prospective buyers, the amount of people in the market shopping, just decreased nationally a little bit, and then mortgage both growth demand and housing stock specific prices all slowed a little bit. So Wall Street, even the last 2 weeks, thinks that perhaps we've hit that a little bit of that glass ceiling. Now, I can tell you, and just to keep this video short, I'm not going to share the screen because it's small print, it's difficult to see, but I track daily inventory in Salt Lake County. And since the end of March, we've had between 600 and 700 active homes for sale on any given day you want to check the market in all of Salt Lake County. To put that in perspective, that's only about a 2-week supply of inventory. That's perhaps the number one reason the market has been so ridiculously hot. There's been multiple offers, pricing is going like this. Median price has been averaging almost a 3% a month increase. So usually when we film our Valentine's to 4th of July video and we tell you if you sat on the fence and didn't buy, this is how much money you wasted. Well, based on median price this year, it was significant. I mean, we're talking like $50,000 you wasted if you didn't buy or you kept looking or whatnot. That's how the market outpaced you. But I don't want to dive super deep into that. I just want to let you know that Over the last 2 weeks, I've done some national reporting, both for Berkshire Hathaway and for the Zelman report. I fill out their data for the state of Utah. And I can tell you that since about July 1st, we've watched inventory every day when I look at it is now between 850 and about 920 homes. Still not a lot in the grand scheme of things, still under a month of supply, but up 25% on average from where it has been over the last 90 days. Lastly, let's just talk something I often don't talk about, and let's not look at data, and let's just talk about this part, the feeling and energies of the market, or perhaps what I often call the glass ceiling. People are feeling like pricing's got really high. If you read data, obviously, and information, everyone's got their opinions, and we just went through the data that is proving to you that we're slowing a tidbit, the sky isn't falling, and the reasons for that. But also, here at Utah Cribs, we're out every day in the market. We do this all day, every day. We don't only love it, but we're also very involved with it. We're the type of realtors that are at the office every day, and somebody on the team is showing one or multiple people are showing buyers every day. So we're on the streets, as I like to say it, and we are current. And I can tell you that across all price ranges, whether it's under median price or luxury, we had a closing over 4 million the other day. Buyers are feeling frustrated enough. We've challenged that pricing enough. We've gotten beat up enough on the buy side that there's starting to be some pushback. And there's another reason for inventory growing. So let me end it in this. There's a lot of data I could dive in here to kind of back these opinions, if you will. I'm happy to share that with you if you need to dive deeper on your personal home situation. But I can tell you definitively that don't interpret this as the sky is falling. Don't interpret this if you're a buyer going, ooh, it's gonna crash. But as I held up at the beginning, a lot of you sellers that have been thinking about this, and I know coming from a realtor, you always think this is a sales pitch, so I'm gonna address it factually. This is not a pitch, just giving you information. Take it for what you will, but you missed the peak. And it's not just all the data we shared, it's back to that energy and feeling of the market. In March, April, May, and June, not only did we have low inventory and all those things going on, but buyers were clamoring, and we still had that huge surge from out of state in COVID migration, which is still occurring. But we've hit that glass ceiling enough times that not just one or two sellers, many sellers are starting to lower price, inventory is growing a bit, cat's out of the bag. And so the wind gets sucked out of the sails of the market, just a tidbit. So what do if you're a seller? Let me remind you that real estate, and especially when markets ebb and flow and they soften or they get hotter for buyers or sellers, it's not like the stock market. It doesn't crash in a day and then you wake up and it's down. If I pulled up a graph of the prior recession, we slowly trickled down from 2008 to first quarter of 2012 over 4 years. And that's where median price declined 34%. I'm not insinuating a decline either, but I'm just telling you that it takes time. So if you missed the peak and the wind's been sucked out of the sails a little bit, your ship can still go. You can still list and sell. A lot of the numbers are still in your favor. So my advice would still be to do that. But my opinion is that more wind is going to continue to get sucked out of the sails. So hope that makes sense. If you need us to dive deeper into your personal situation, reach out to us so we can educate you so you can make an educated decision when it comes to your real estate.